Hi, I'm Lewis, also known as Skepples, and welcome to the 19th devlog for my tower defense game, Project Torrim. Before I get into what I did this week, I would like to thank everyone for such a fantastic response to my latest devlogs. I never expected any response to them, much less such a positive one, so I really appreciate it. Last week I worked on UI bugs and tower usability issues, which really improved the flow of playing the game. This week I want to continue working on towers and how they're managed, starting off with tower shooting. Currently, towers add enemies that enter their range to a list and fire at the first enemy in that list. This is a simple system and works well, however I'd like to give the player more options. Options such as switching the target to a random enemy, the closest enemy, or the furthest enemy. As such, I'll catch up when I have the functions for these modes and the UI to switch between them. This morning I've managed to make some fantastic progress on the targeting system for my towers. When I place down this tower, you'll notice there's a third button in the tower management menu, which is used to switch targeting mode. Currently, we're on the gnome mode, which is the same as the old method, firing at the first enemy in the list. Next is the unknown mode, which fires at the last in the list. Then there's closest, which fires at the closest enemy to the tower, and furthest, which fires at the furthest. Finally, there's random mode, which fires at a random enemy within range. The implementation of this turned out to be quite simple. In the existing code there was a variable for target, so I simply changed what was being assigned to this variable. Targets are now returned by a delegate function, which is cycled through with the target button and implemented with these functions. I'm really pleased with this implementation as it's simple to understand and easy to expand on. I can now tick off this task and move it to the done pile. The next task on my board is tower upgrades. I want to explore the idea of upgrading tower radius, speed and power. However, I'm not too sure how this will sit in the final game, so I'm just going to try it and see how it goes. Perhaps this is a bit too big. How many times can I... Oh my god, look at that. It's like a machine gun. It's getting to the end of my morning playing with the tower upgrades, and I feel like I've got some great progress. When you place down towers, you can upgrade their radius and fire speed by 20% for the cost of the tower. Unfortunately, there's no power upgrade yet because I haven't properly implemented a projectile system. Luckily, that is the next task on my board, so I'll be able to add power upgrades with that. So let's pop tower upgrades back to its task list and move projectile variations to in progress. When I have these sorted out, I'll catch up with you once again. Oh no, that doesn't work with multiple towers. Okay, that should fix that. That's looking pretty cool. It's now the end of my development week and I have made some fantastic progress with the projectile system, projectile upgrades, and some projectile variations. The core of the new projectile system is the projectile info struct, which towers will use when firing their projectiles. This struct makes it simple to set projectiles, which the power upgrade system makes good use of, with each upgrade increasing the projectile damage and the number of enemies it can hit. I think I can now move the tower upgrade task to done. Additionally, with the projectile system in place, I began working on variations for projectiles and towers. In my last devlog, Game Dev Basics suggested a bomb projectile and an enemy slowdown tower, which I love, and decided to implement as my first test. The mechanics of the slowdown tower or freeze tower were simple. All I had to do was change the speed of all enemies that entered the radius of the tower and restore their speed when they leave. During development I came across an issue where, if I had multiple towers, when an enemy left the range of the first tower, it would not be affected by the second tower. However, I managed to fix that bug and move on. The bomb projectile was a little different. When the projectile hits an enemy, instead of applying damage to the enemy, it spawns an explosion, which is currently represented by the large white circle. The explosion is very similar to a large projectile, applying damage to multiple enemies in one go. I'm incredibly happy with my progress this week. I think I've got a solid foundation for adding new projectiles and towers for my upcoming devlogs. So if you have any projectile or tower ideas, please comment them down below. I hope you enjoyed watching this devlog for Project Torrim. Leave the video a like to let me know you did. And don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date with all the progress on the game. Thank you and goodbye.